Good morning students. Today we'll discuss about the remaining inventory control methods. So we have already discussed ABC analysis and VAD analysis. Okay, next we are going to discuss about EOQ method. So EOQ stands for economic order quantity method. Okay, so we'll see what this method means. It is defined as optimum quantity to be ordered once. That means optimum quantity of stock which you need to order, that is defined as EOQ, and this method will help you in telling how much quantity you should order. Okay, and this is one of the best known inventory models that are commonly utilized in purchasing the medicines for pharmacy. Okay, right. So now we'll see in detail about what this means. So see, for example, whenever you want to order every product, it will carry fixed ordering and procurement cost. Ordering cost is nothing but, suppose you're ordering on phone, so that is telephone charge. So that is a kind of ordering cost. Similarly, ordering cost will have many factors. So whenever you are ordering some product, it will have some ordering cost and procurement cost. Procurement cost means in order to receive that product, you will have to face certain costs. So that is a procurement cost. So when ordering every product, it is carrying fixed ordering and procurement cost regardless of the number of units ordered. For example, if you order 10 units, then also you will have ordering and procurement cost. If you order 50 units, then also you will have ordering and procurement cost. So this method, it will tell you in a way how to minimize such ordering and procurement cost. Okay, so when demand for a particular product is uniform round the year, when demand is uniform round the year means, for example, for the demand for paracetamol, let us suppose the demand for this paracetamol will be 500 strips around the year. So it is more or less overall the same. So if you place more number of orders, then what you will have more ordering cost and procurement cost, right? When demand for a particular product is uniform round the year, and if more number of orders are placed, it will attract more ordering cost and procurement cost. So you have to minimize such ordering cost and procurement cost. That is the main idea behind inventory control. So in this method, it will tell you how to minimize such ordering and procurement cost. So in order to minimize such ordering and procurement cost without affecting the demand and supply. Okay, so you don't want to affect your supply of medicines, you don't want to affect. So without affecting such supply, how can you minimize such cost? Okay, so you have to place the minimum number of orders. So that minimum number of units which you are placing in each order is called as economic order quantity. The name itself is telling, whenever you are ordering one quantity, it is economic order quantity. So whenever you want to minimize the ordering cost and procurement cost, possible minimum number of orders are required to be placed. So the minimum number of units which are placed in each order is known as your economic order quantity. So economic order quantity, it can be calculated using an equation. EOQ is equal to under root 2 into procurement cost into Q into divided by carrying cost, where Q is nothing but the quantity of product ordered in number of units. Here Q is nothing but the quantity of the product ordered in number of units. Okay, and this is your procurement cost, this is your CC is nothing but your carrying cost. What are procurement costs? For example, in what way you will get procurement cost? So let us see. Procurement cost, it will include your communication expenditure. As I told you, communication expenditure, you're calling by a phone, sometimes you are emailing, so that will have internet charges, right? So communication expenditure. Media cost, what media you are using, right? Media cost made on purchasing, but obviously the cost made on purchasing means which you have to give him. Cost made on receiving the goods, whenever you are receiving the goods, see, you will have to hire another personnel for receiving the goods and extra personnel for checking the goods, so that will have cost. So that all will come in procurement cost which is made on purchasing, receiving and checking the goods, and then marking and stocking of goods. So different personnel are assigned different activities. So the personnel who is assigned marking and stocking of goods, that will also include, but that is also another kind of cost. So that will come under your procurement cost. Okay, next, carrying cost. Carrying cost is nothing but whenever you are ordering that product, what expenditure you have to maintain till you supply that product to customer. So for example, you got the product on Monday, let us suppose, and you are delivering that next Monday. Next Monday that customer comes and takes it from you. So till this 1 week, what all costs you have to bear? You have to bear the expenditures incurred due to storage. For example, if it requires refrigeration storage, if it requires scroll storage, then also it is a kind of cost, right? So expenditure incurred due to storage. Insurance, you have to maintain insurance, you have to pay insurance amount. So that insurance amount will also come under carrying cost. Interest on loan, you are paying loan, right? So that also increases as your products and your orders increases. Then deterioration of products. For example, if you are purchasing 100 and out of them 10 you are deteriorated, so that will also come in carrying cost, because you have to bear the cost of the 10 spoiled products. Damage during storage, for example, any animal spillage or rat, mice can come anytime. So the damage during storage, that will also come in carrying cost. Okay, so this is with your procuring cost, procurement cost and carrying cost. So by this you can calculate your EOQ, under root 2 into PC into Q divided by CC. Procurement cost, carrying cost, where Q is the quantity of the product ordered in number of units. So this is with your EOQ method. Okay, you have to discuss 5 methods. So we have already discussed 3 methods, and the next, the 4th method is your lead time. Lead time, LT is equal to OT plus DT plus RT. What is that? I will tell you. So lead time is nothing. You can expect this question for 2 marks also. Define lead time. Okay, separately also he can ask you, or separately also he can ask you write about EOQ method. So you should know about all these methods. So lead time is nothing but, I'll tell you. See, you are ordering on phone and you are receiving, when you receive the goods, so that time period between when you order and you receive, that is nothing but lead time. Okay, so lead time, it is defined as the time gap between placement of an order to the supplier and the actual receipt of stocks. You are getting my point? Or lead time is nothing but when you place an order and when you get that receipt of stock. So what is the time gap between that? That is your lead time. It is the time gap between placement of an order to the supplier and the actual receipt of the stocks. So it is the combination of, lead time is the combination of ordering time, delivery time, receiving time. Ordering time, you are ordering on phone to a supplier. Delivery time, that supplier should supply to you. Receiving time, when you actually receive the goods. So your lead time is the combination of ordering time plus delivery time plus receiving time. Okay, so now let us see what do you mean by OT, DT and RT. So as I told you, it is a very important question. You can also expect this for 2 marks. OT, ordering time. It is the time taken to place an order. So whenever you decide to place an order, the time which you take to place it is nothing but your ordering time. So it depends on the factors like selection of supplier. Okay, first you have to choose. For example, if you have A, B, C, D, 4 suppliers. So first you have to choose. So as soon as you select, if you choose fast, then you can order fast, right? So it will depend on selection of supplier, assessing the product demand. That means suppose if you have selected A, then how many you have to order him? 10, 20. So that is, you have to assess the demand and then you have to order him. So it will depend on factors like selection of supplier, assessing the product demand, supply terms and discounts. Okay, so that means you have to consider, right, on which product he is giving how much discount. So that all will come under ordering time. Next comes your delivery time. Delivery time is the time taken by the supplier in receiving the order from the chemist. That means whenever the supplier, obviously he should also purchase from a chemist, right? So it is the time taken by the supplier in receiving the order from the chemist, separation of items, billing, packing and choosing the right transport method to supply the stocks to the chemist. Okay, for example, this chemist, let us say this is here some Vasu Pharma. Okay, your supplier has to receive the order from this Vasu Pharma and then he has to separate the items which I have ordered. Suppose I am Moti Medical, right? So he has to receive from Vasu Pharma, he has to separate the items, he has to make a bill for Moti Medical, he has to pack the item and then he should choose the right transport method to supply the stocks to me, that is to chemist, that is to Moti Medical. So he should purchase from their Vasu Pharma and he should supply it to me. So that is a delivery time, right? So this delivery time, it can be influenced by the non-availability of the ordered stocks. That means if this supplier is not having stocks, then it will take more time for him to deliver, and it will also depend on the lack of adequate staff. If this supplier is not having enough staff, then obviously the delivery time will increase, because he has to purchase, and then he has to select the method, and then he has to transport. So this all will depend on lack of adequate staff and non-availability of the ordered stocks. Next, last is a receiving time. Receiving time is nothing but it is the time taken to receive the supplied stocks from the wholesaler. That means you are receiving the stock, so it is the time taken to receive the stocks from the wholesaler, and it will depend on the transport system, right? So when, for example, you have many two-wheelers, some will use autos, some will use trucks, so it will depend on the type of transport system which you are choosing. Obviously, if you are choosing two-wheeler, then you will have a fast transport system. And for example, if your pharmacy is located in a rural area and it will have poor transport system, then the receiving time will increase, right? It is very clear, in rural area the receiving time will get increased, whereas when compared to your urban area where the receiving time is less compared to your rural area. Okay, so pharmacies which are located in rural area, they require ordering excess stocks to meet the customer demand. So whenever you in this rural area, at one time only they have to order excess stock in order to meet the demand. In one time only they have to order the excess stock. So pharmacist, it all depends on the pharmacist, right? So the pharmacist should use his or his expertise, experience and acumen. Acumen is nothing but keen knowledge, right? So the pharmacist should use his experience, expertise and acumen in ordering the suitable quantity to meet the market demand, right? As per the market demand, the pharmacist should order the goods, and if it is in rural area, he should use his experience and his knowledge to order the excess quantity. Okay, so this is with the lead time. So this is with the EOQ method and lead time. So we have discussed the 4 inventory control methods, and the last method left is nothing but a safety stock. Okay, that we'll discuss in the next class. Once we discuss this method, we'll cover the inventory control unit, very important unit and very small and easy. So I request all of you to go through all of this and let me know in case of any doubts.